I mean, imperialism is still not over. We have to dismantle the large empires of the world: America, Britain, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Russia, Moskalska Imperia, uh, China. Those are the big ones I can think of. Germany, obviously. Um, and like the ones that still maintain themselves as the largest empires on the world stage now are like America, Britain, France, Russia, China. And Israel is basically just a partner of America. It started out as a, Stalin created Israel. You know, obviously I say all of this and like no hate for any of the citizens as a whole of these countries, America or Israel or Britain or whatever, or Russia. But like, you know, an understanding that all of these empires are like carrying out genocides and funding genocides. I don't know about. I haven't checked in with Britain and France, but they're probably doing that right now. I know America is. I know Russia is, and I know China is. And Israel is, you know, basically, it's doing the genocide of Palestinians now with U.S. funding of various kinds of U.S. corporate funding. And, yeah, it's disgusting. APEC, all of that. Russia's doing a genocide of Ukrainians. Still, south and the east of the country. А нам треба завжди розмовляти про це, тому що це війна йде, війна ще йде на сході України. Війна ще йде на південній Україні. Так. Ні. Вони теж б'ють багато людей там. Це ужасно просто. Це як в Палестині. God. Ukraine, Palestine, Sudan, Western Sahara, Cameroon, Kivu, and actually also other parts of the DRC have their slave mining, at least last time I checked in 2009. I really should check again. Free Congo. Free Sudan. Free Darfur. Free Ukraine. And free Palestine. Burma. Let's not forget about Burma, where the Tatmadaw is waging a horrific campaign of basically mass rape and murder against ethnic minorities. And it's basically been up to ethnic armed organizations to be resisting that. Some of those ethnic armed organizations and also former Burman police officers and all of these who've come into refugees who's come into India as refugees. Some of them have aligned themselves now with the, Kuki tribal defense militias, which have taken a super right-wing turn and have gone, kidnapping and raping Métis, as the armed Métis militias have been doing the same thing against Kukis. That's a bad time. So covered those. There's the Chinese genocide done by the Chinese state ongoing in Sharqi Turkestan and East Turkestan. Whereas the most misogynistic government in the world, the Taliban in Afghanistan. And I'm all just giving these brief mentions because there are so many. We'd be here forever if I went into details about all of these conflicts and how we got there, though I can. Western Sahara, if I mentioned that as well, has been going on. Conflict, the Moroccan settler colonial regime has been continuing to kill Sahrawis. Tigray might be getting another famine after the genocide. done by Abiy Ahmed and the, you know, basically Amhara fascist forces. Right in Kivu, there's militaries from Rwanda and Uganda that are Russia and America backed, um, and have been like, you know, kidnapping and enslaving people for mining coltan, whatever that shit's called. In Ambazonia in Cameroon, the Anglophone parts of the country have gone into a separatist war against, you know, the the Cameroon government, and I honestly don't know anything about that or how the hell we got there. So I'm gonna not comment on Cameroon, except that it's bad, and I've seen videos of internally displaced people begging for help. So it's a bad time. I know that people have been kicked out of their homes in various parts of Ambazonia. I don't know the causes as well as I do of other places like in Sudan. We talk about, well, recently, just the most recent iteration of all the fucked up shit that's going on in the world. In the Sudan edition, we have the Russia-backed rapid support forces decided to fall out of the sort of coalition they had been with Sudanese armed forces back in 2021 coup, and then 2023 had begun like an actual like war basically to try to take over territory, kidnap Sudanese women into sexual slavery. They did massacres in Darfur against the Fur, Zaghawa, and Masalit people. 15,000 Masalit boys were killed. Boys and children were just killed and stuck in a mass grave into 2023. Sudan is it's a bad time. And I mean, we saw the images in Ukraine of Avdiivka. We saw the images in Gaza of what's happening in Rafah. We saw the massacre of Palestinians who were trying to get food. We saw reports of all the sexual violence against Palestinian women and girls in Israeli prison camps. We've seen all of this. Talk about China's locked up approximately, I don't know how many, but like in at least 100,000 to, I think, the standard figure I've seen cited by many human rights organizations, and I think also by the Victims of Xinjiang database, which tends to be pretty thorough, as approximately 1 million kept in prisons as well in Sharqi Turkestan, in Zungaria, and Altashahr, whatever names, decolonial names you want to give to this place that is called in Mandarin is Xinjiang, which means a new frontier. Totally not a settler colony, right guys? Right guys? Definitely not. That's why it's called fucking New Frontier. That's why, yeah. Just to be clear, that's sarcasm. There is very much a settler colonial genocide ongoing in Sharqi Turkestan. China's doing it. Xi Jinping is basically responsible for it. As the genocide, I mean, the settler colonialism in Xinjiang, in Sharqi Turkestan, it's been going on since the fucking 50s in terms of extractive resources. Then since the 90s, it's really exacerbated under the Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps. It was Xi Jinping who decided to go all out and do a genocide, which started in 2014, 2015 with land theft and mass incarceration. And it has since then gone to like mass rape, mass sterilization. It's, you know, I'm listing just a laundry list of atrocities, right? These are things that are not meant to be taken lightly. This is everything I'm telling you about is just like the most fucked up shit happening in the world. And who's to blame for it? Like America, Russia, China. Like, you know, this is why you have to be an anarchist, because the most fucked up shit that's happening in the world is the fault of the state. It's the fault of some states. Which ones? Russia, China, America, Israel, of course, backed by America. Ethiopia. They've been their own empire for like 800 years, I guess. It's brutal. Russia's been an empire also. I can say Russia's been its own empire also for 800 years. I believe there was an Erzya elder who cited that figure, 800 years of Russian colonialism in the Erzya territories. I don't know much about my Erzya history. And I don't know for how long the discrimination against the native Finnic peoples of the Upper Volga and its tributaries have been going on since. But I do know that those are the peoples who are native to all of that area, even Moscow. It's the peoples who have been there for longer than the Slavs and whose language has been suppressed. People have been assimilated, and any attempts by people to try to reclaim that, they get hit with racial slurs since the 19th century. And so, in that sense, yes, like the Media are indigenous to Meryama. Meryama includes Moscow and other places around that area. Like all of that is, the upper tributaries of the Volga. Those are the areas of the Volga Finns. Peoples like the Ersya, like the Mari, like the Moksha, and the Murom, who I think are the same as the Merya, the Meshchera. These are all of the Volga Finnic peoples. And I'm here to tell you because I think Uralic history is cool. Honestly, I think Uralic languages are some of the most beautiful sounding languages in the world. And I don't just mean the overplayed ones like Hungarian and Eesti and Suomi. I mean like the Sami language. I mean like Moksha. I mean like Mari. And like Nenets. Even languages more distantly related to Uralic that are part of the Uralo-Siberian family. Like Odul. Odul is a beautiful language. I also quite like the sound of Inuktitut, a Uralo-Siberian language. And I'm here to tell you all about that and come at this from always a decolonial framework and all of those things. Dude, so this war is genocidal in Ukraine, and everybody knows that, but it's also genocidal for the Russian ethnic minorities whose men are just being drafted into the war. And there's Fatima Tis, who is an Adre journalist, who mentioned that the Adrebza language channels for Russian state TV, an hour of Adrebza channel, and 40 minutes of that is just praising the heroes who are going and fighting for Russia. And many get notices from the Russian government that are what is it? Пропал без вести, which is euphemism for Belvise, but they don't say that, because if they do, then they have to, you see, it's just more and more day by day. You just see how Russia is just the evil empire. Vladimir Putin is Slobodan Milosevic. Is Xi Jinping, in the sense that these are states that have been historically ruled by nominally communist parties that just went full fash. Arguably because of those same organs that were there in the Communist Party structure. Arguably, Leninism led directly to this, because it didn't have a check against Stalin. It didn't have a check against the connections of the party cadres with organized crime in the 80s. It didn't have a check against Yeltsin. It didn't have a check, of course, against any of the other various mini Yeltsins propped up all around the post-Soviet world. And, well, I mean, at least it got, I don't know, for some reason there's a stronger anarchist movement now than there was in the 80s. And I don't know if that's, I think that might be attributable to, I don't know. I have no fucking clue, dude. How is it they got good at blowing up police stations now? I mean, were they doing that shit in the 80s and I just didn't hear about it? Anyway. Смерть России. Смерть Російської Федерації. Завжди смерть Російської Федерації.